This is conference 14 of phase B, three types of tantrism. And our goal here today in this conference is to understand what tantrism is and the three types of tantrism that exist. Tantrism is a practice of sex. A tantric, it is the person who practices sex. So there are three types of tantrism, which are three types of sex. And here um, we understand why it's a great battle between white and black magicians because it has its root in sex. All three types of tantrism, each one has a very different characteristic. I'm sorry, and that my slide got stuck in here. Okay, the purposes that we need to know are how to know one from the other. So we began by defining what tantrism is. So tantrics are all people who have sex. So this means that everyone who has sex is a tantric, in fact. And what distinguishes them, it is the type of sexuality that they practice. So, like I said, the great battle between the white magicians and the black magicians has its roots in sex. And we see from ancient times that the bronze serpent that killed the Israelites in the desert and the tempting serpent of Eden fight each other. And um, there, one is of the Kundalini, one it is the serpent lifted up in the spine, and the other one is inverted fire through fornication. This is a black tantrism. They're basically two types, either goes up or goes down. And those who practice the white sexual magic never spill their energy. They never spill their semen in life. And those who do practice black sexual magic do spill their semen. So here are we see that either goes up or down. So we have three types of tantrism. Um, this is the black sexual tantrism. So there are three types of tantrism, and um, we have the black tantrism, the white tantrism, and the gray tantrism. So, so we see that the transcendental fire only develops with the white tantrism. So in here where there is no orgasm or ejaculation of semen. And with this tantrism, the kundalini is awakened. This is the fire of the Holy Spirit. And the purpose of this union, it is for it is for the creation of the existential bodies of the being. So this practice must always take place between a man and a woman, which means it follows inside a journey. And this never ever includes fornication of any kind. Um, this means no oral sex, anal sex, orgies, threesomes, none of that. And there are three basic requirements for this sexual union to be a white tantrism, and these requirements are must always be presided. First of all, must always be presided by love, fidelity, and chastity. So this is the key of the phallus in uterus connection without ejaculation ever of the sacred sperm. And okay, so the method for a white tantrism is first, number one, it is a conjuration of the ability. This is to cleanse the space of negative energies and or entities that can try to interfere with that, or any entities that try to interfere or could interfere. Okay, number two, Once the place is clean, then it's now is sealed with the magic circle of protection. Now the following step is a request for assistance to the inner father and the divine mother of each one for the practice, and this must be done from the heart with their own words. Okay, so we must make sure this is a practice without the the sealing protection of the place equals to a fall. So this place should always be sealed and closed. Okay, so the lighting of this fire, it is with caresses and kisses, achieving perfect lubrication of the feminine yoni and an erection for of the masculine phallus for penetration. And so here, both will proceed to light this sexual fire, and after this, it will proceed the connection of the lingam yoni, which is the penis inside the vagina. And when the sexual connection is finally established, um, both are going to proceed to transmute their sexual energy through a respiratory process that consists of three stages. Number one is that inhalation is going to inhale for 20 seconds, imagining the air entering the lungs, and then taking it to the sexual, from the lungs to the sexual glands. Then number second step is the retention. You're going to retain the air for 20 seconds, imagining and feeling a golden thread ascending to the spine. This is like the golden vapors of that is the energy rising, vertebra by vertebra, from the coccyx to the point between the eyebrows. So this ascends to the point between the eyebrows and is done. Now here there's a fabrication of the first two solar bodies. And then for the following solar bodies, which is the astral body, mental body, and causal body, then the point between the eyebrows, and from there is going to descend in a treble clef to the heart. You know, so treble clef reminds us of the musical note, treble, um, treble, treble clef. Okay, so in this white tantrism, this is for the following solar bodies. Okay, the ascending fire, we see how it has the power to awaken the chakras and open the seven churches of the apocalypse of Saint John, and it takes us to the path of the intimate self-realization of the being. Okay, and um, so we are going to mentalize. I'm sorry, I'm going back a step, a step backwards. During the exhalation, I almost jumped this part. We are going to mentalize the mantra E-A-O. So one vowel for each respiratory process in the following order. First, we're going to inhale, retain 20 seconds, and then while exhaling, we're going to exhale and say E. That is the first vowel. The whole procedure is going to take place from the beginning. Inhale, retain, and as we exhale, we are going to exhale with the second vowel. Uh, Again, the next procedure, the whole process, 20 seconds, inhaling, retaining, and then the last vowel. Oh. So this procedure is repeated as many times as needed. And if there's the potency is going down, it can regain and maintain it with caresses and kisses. And when the potency ends, which is when the phallus has no more erection or the yoni has no more lubrication, the practice ends. And it ends right there. It withdraw the practice without, the key is to withdraw without ever spilling the sexual creative energy. That is without ejaculation or reaching the orgasm. Okay, so the only thing that really works is white tantrism. It's the only thing that is going to regenerate our bodies and have a transcendental purpose. Okay, so now we have black tantrism, and um, here, oh, again, some recommendations. I'm sorry. that in this practice of white tantrism is that it should never be done in between couples from different sex, always the same sex. It should be done once a day, every 20 from 24 hours. It should never use birth control. Each one should be concentrated on their own genitals, not on the partners, on their own energy, and should wait 2 hours after taking a shower. I mean, after showering, after 2 hours after the practice, because there is a heat and a magnetism during this practice, and it is not convenient to have a shower after this process. So this is the practice of transmutation. Mm, so this is a success. Is like I said, reaching ending without ever reaching orgasm or ejaculation. Resolve movements. Okay, so now going back to Black Tantrism. So Black Tantrism it consists of here is the awakening um, of the igneous serpent, but in a strictly negative way. So it is um, it is from there. It's a connection between the lingam and Joni, but with magical rites and seminal ejaculation. So it is very evident that um, the sacred fire here rushes from the coccyx towards the atomic hells of man, and which is here the Black Tantra. The Black Tantra reabsorbs the semen after it has been expelled. So after it has been spilled, and the result in this is fatal because the semen after is expelled out of the body, it becomes loaded with satanic atoms that after penetrating the organism again, then it acquires the power to awaken the kundalini in a negative way, which is the tail of Satan. So now appears the abominable Kunda buffer organ. This is the second serpent that opens the seven chakras that are in the lower abdomen. In the lower abdomen, which are the seven gates of hell, as the Muhammadans say, um, black magicians often teach their disciples that it's possible to awaken the Kundalini with spilling their energy. So um, these magic rites include orgies, threesomes. They include all kinds of sexual aberrations, mm, oral sex, anal sex, orgies, um, zoophilia, and so the masturbation. And the result in this is that the spinal fire, in this case, instead of going up to the spine, it goes down towards the atomic infernos of man and crystallizes the tail of the Kunda buffer in the astral body, then becoming internally a real demon. So that is a black tantrism. After they reabsorb the semen, like I said, this is fatal, and they strengthen their egos. That's what they do. They strengthen their ego, and they have power on their tail. So the opening the seven gates of hell, as the Muslims say. So they black magicians teach that awaken the kundalini by pouring out energy. They don't need a stable partner. That they teach that they can do this with many partners, many people. They can do it between people of the same sex. They can participate in orgies or homosexual practices, and like I said, masturbation. Okay, so this is the practice of black. Um, the result on the buffer tail that they gain grades in Anagarika grades. So now we have the Great Tantrism. And the Great Tantrism, this one, the difference here is that it only has its purpose in the animal enjoyment without any transcendental longing. The vast majority of people, of humanity, practices great tantrism, but with the only purpose of expelling their energy for their own pleasure, for personal pleasure, without having any knowledge of the power that is sexual energy. And they use their energy, they discharge their energy, um, they drain themselves daily with the sexual practices just to fulfill their functions, their function of lust, spilling their energy against again and again, and till they just keep feeding it to the subhuman entities that live within themselves, which is their ego. And even though they don't know what the sexual energy is, they are still tantrics because they are feeding their egos. So what it happens that um, they end up strengthening their perverse um, egos, become stronger, and it's good to know that all great tantras inevitably are going to eventually become black tantras. So they become black, and so it doesn't matter if even every fornicator, even if he's unaware of the what black tantrism is, it is in fact a tantra because, like I said, it creates, and which with each fornication, his seminal envelope is going, it gets darker and darker, and it blackens until he reaches a point um, where he becomes just darker, and the power of sex is just it just goes to the tail, become more and more perverse. So they are, even they're not aiming to the intimate self-realization of the being. So for that reason, we see here that the only thing that really works if we have a purpose for the self-realization of the being, it is that of white tantras. It's the only thing that it works and that it is transcendent. And thank you, thank you, thank you. That was it. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Hannah, Jane, Beatty. Hello, Beatty. Alba. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. ¿Dónde has andado, Beatty? No hemos sabido nada de ti.